I need to figure that out how early it starts. Okay. Hey guys, it's Savvy. My editing software is still not fixed, but I thought I'd give you guys a quick book review. You can see my hallway. Oh well, too late for that. Okay guys, I have a really exciting book review. Before I start, I do need to say that I do know this author personally. However, she didn't give me the book for review or anything. I just happened, she's my good friend's brother's girlfriend. And so my friend Kara and her mom were like, hey, like, she was sending me a few books anyways, and then they were like, well, let's just send her Emma's book as well. So the book I'm reviewing today is called Dreamcatch by Emma Berg. I finished it today. Before I get into the review, I'm going to say that this is a good enough book that I took it on the BART with me. I was riding it into Berkeley, which is an hour away from the station I parked at. So I read the full hour there, the full hour back, and then I had 10 pages left in the book, and I went to my car, got in, locked the door, turned on the light, and read the last 10 pages, even though I needed to get back home to my grandmother. Because that's how good this book was, that I was like, I don't want, and actually, it has, like, the ending's really nice, and it's very well wrapped up, and so I didn't feel like I had to read to know what happened, but I just wanted to know. I did want to know what happened though. But it's really, really good. I will say the pacing's really good for a first book, and something that I really liked, and I didn't know until the end that I liked it, is that she would kind of like drop a bomb, and then it would just get left for like quite a few pages. But then they'd come back to it and say like, oh, and that's why this happened, and we didn't explain it then, but this is what happened. And I thought that was pretty cool. And so essentially what happens in this book, I'm all over the place. What happens in this book is that this man, Joseph, there's these people called catchers, which that's where the name comes from, Dreamcatch. It's not like a dream catcher like the object. It's these people have these nightmares that prey on them, and they're essentially negative energy. And then certain people are called catchers, and they house these shadows that eat the bad dreams. It doesn't really make sense when you hear it, but when you read about it, it's very well thought out. It does make sense. It is very, and so this man becomes infatuated almost with a catcher named Madeline. And it's not in like a gross or creepy way. It's not in a very, it's just, he's just interested. And so he starts to learn about catchers, and they end up going on this huge adventure, and I really liked the world building. I will say sometimes there's a little bit issue of telling instead of showing, and I didn't even totally think it was that. I think it might be that she just wanted to show everything, and so it ended up being a little clumsy, but it never ever took me out of the story. Had I not been, honestly, I probably wouldn't even be saying anything if I didn't know the author. I'm just going a little bit harder on this book because I want to be fair because I know her. That's not that, but that's just where my brain is right now. So yeah, so they end up like in it's called the Underside, which is a new world, and then they end up back in our world or in this world. I will say, oh, I wish I could edit this because I'm all over the place and I had a little script, but I will say this is a high fantasy. So if you do not like high fantasy, don't read this book. But if you do like high fantasy, I would really recommend this. I think it was a great one. The world is really good, I felt like. I really liked it. And it's just a really interesting concept, and I feel like it's a little bit of a trope, like negative energy and somebody would take it away, but it was done in a way that I had never seen before, which I really, really liked. Her writing style it's very informative, and I really enjoyed it. Sometimes it was a little dense, but it was good dense. Like, I really liked it. It just sometimes, like, I would read for like a half hour or 2 hours, and then I would put it down for a little bit and then read again. If you go on my Goodreads, it took me a while to read it. I did misplace the book for a little bit. Um, I left it at my aunt's house, but I got it back and I finished it, and it's so, so good. This is a self-published book. If you're interested in buying it, it is available on Amazon. It is you can buy it for Kindle for $4.99, or you can buy it the hardcover. It's a paperback. The physical copy, I don't remember how much it cost. Once again, this was a Christmas present for me, so I don't know how much it cost. But how yeah, I think the Kindle version was $4.99. If you want to look it up, because apparently I don't remember. I'll try to remember to link it down below. But also just look up Dreamcatch by Emma Berg. That way you will, because otherwise it doesn't come up because it's a very new book. Once again, if you don't like high fantasy, don't give this book a shot. It is very much a fantasy. There's adventure. It's not quite magic, but it is magic. And so if you're not into that, you're not going to like this. But if you do like high fantasy, especially if you like Sabriel, there was something about this book that really reminded me of that. And I don't quite know what it was. It might have been the writing style a little bit, but I think it might also have been some of the characters kind of reminded me of the characters in Sabriel and that whole series, which I really liked. I also really liked that there were some turns and twists that I didn't see coming, and I don't know, I just liked the way the information came, where you were kind of like, okay, cool, I can see what we're doing, I can see, and then it was like, oh, we're doing this now, and this is happening, wow, this is interesting. There were a couple parts I found kind of confusing. Admittedly, the beginning might not have been confusing. So Joseph is the main character, and he starts out a servant for a family that Madeline comes to help. She helps the son, and I thought the son was going to be the main character. And admittedly, on the back, it starts by Joseph Archer has been spending his days as a live-in servant for the family. I didn't read the back because it was a gift, and so I was like, wait, why is this stuff happening to Joseph? Why isn't it happening to the boy? And then I was like, oh, because the boy. And then I read the back and realized. So that, and then also, at some point, Joseph ends up getting in this fight with this man, and he ends up not remembering the ending of the fight, and then he kind of gets in trouble for it. But I just felt like I didn't really understand. The fight was significant, but I didn't really understand why. And it comes up a few times, and it did kind of start to make sense, but I didn't understand if the guy he was fighting, so Joseph was like, hey, you're stealing money from your boss, that's not okay. And then the man starts a fight with him. And I didn't understand if the man was testing him or if he was actually fighting him. Admittedly, that might have just been something I missed. I don't know. I don't know if I already said in this review, because I wrote a review on Amazon for it as well. I loved the ending. I loved the last 40 or 30 pages. I just oh yeah, on the BART. But I just felt like it wrapped up really well, and I feel like so often, and I even do this in my own writing, where I just end in the middle of the action. It's the action ends, and then I just end right then, and I don't wrap things up. And I felt like this was really very much wrapped up, and you kind of, a lot of stuff happens, and you're just like, whoa! And then it's like, oh, and here's what happened after that. And I really loved that. And there were some twists and turns, and I really liked this book. I think it's something that I will definitely read again someday, and I'm really happy that I was given this because it was good. And I feel like it's always nerve-wracking reading somebody you know's work, because if you don't like it, you're gonna have to pick one thing to be like, oh, well, the platypus was really cute in the story, but this book, I genuinely can, next time I see Emma, which, who knows when that will be, because we don't see each other anymore, but next time I see her, I can say, hey, I read Dreamcatch, and I loved it, and I'm really astounded that you wrote that. And it's not a diss on her, she's really smart and awesome, but I just felt like this book was really well planned out, really well paced, and just an interesting read. And if you're looking for a high fantasy and you're looking for something that, mm, I don't know, I feel like I've just never, I feel like it's just a very unique book. If you're looking for a unique high fantasy, I'd recommend giving this a shot. Um, yeah, is that it? I'm so sorry, guys. I like thought I was ready for this. It's hard not being able to edit. Ugh, I need to stop apologizing too. I think I'm just tired. Okay, well, go read this book because it was great, and I will see you guys next time for a food or review or even a tag maybe. All right, have a good one. Oh, I hope you have a wonderful day, week, month, year, and I will see you later. Bye. And stop.